so the story continues. So, last time we played, this will be good for you, Jesse, because you weren't here last time.
Indeed.
As your party continued to investigate Old Lambeth, you began your chapter at the schoolhouse, where a rather mean schoolteacher spirit used an enchantment to trap all of you to the school desks and began to quiz all of you on the history of Old Lambeth. Luckily, you guys had picked up a lot of information searching through the town, and after some psychic consequences on characters, you were able to get through all of her questions, which settled her spirit, and explore the schoolhouse safely. In her back room, all of you found journals written by her and others while that they were still alive, and I believe that all of those were collected up and added to Charlotte's inventory. Additionally, Charlotte and Max found the scroll of animate object, which Max held on to, and within one of the books, hidden away, folded in the pages. And you also found the strange music box, which, Max, I'll let you inspect at some point this session if you want, because we decided we couldn't canonically decide whether or not your character could play musical instruments for you, because you weren't here, so that'd be messed up.
Sounds good.
So that's something to be thinking about, whether or not your character can read music, because that's important for that music box. Additionally, I believe all of you found a hidden passage that led to a ritual circle below the schoolhouse, and you found that by defeating her, you were able to break that ritual circle. And then all of you returned back up the hill from whence you came and investigated the church that you had previously fought the hybrid monster at and burned down. And the burning did break the consecration, which allowed V to pass into the church. And you had to work together against possibly the hardest door you've ever had to open. And after several failed attempts, you ended up using a combination of the party leveraging multiple poles and Maximilian animating the crank and commanding it to open the slab of stone that led down into a hidden area below the church, which turned out to be a crypt for the monks. And you ended up having to essentially do battle with skeletal remains that had risen due to the magic of the ritual circle that was still active, as well as put together one of the skeletons on the wall as part of kind of a puzzle. And working together, all of you were able to defeat those skeletons and close the last ritual circle in the town, which then, upon returning to the manor to investigate, had opened the enchanted gateway. The party then kind of stealthed their way past the manor gates and investigated the outside while trying not to draw the attention of the gardener or possibly the headless horseman if he was lurking. And after inspecting what looked like a greenhouse on one side, the party ultimately decided that their only true course of entry was going to be through the front doors, as much as they did not want to enter that way. And so the party ventured into the lower level of the manor and more or less immediately decided to take to the stairs, believing whatever would be more important would be upstairs on the second level. When you reached the second level, you were greeted by the gaunt girl, who watched all of you with some curiosity before skittering away into one of the rooms, of which there are many in the manor house. And then, upon deciding which door to investigate first, your party was attacked by the Headless Horseman. Upon the horseman doing 6 wounds of damage to V and completely absorbing one of Jensen's blade strikes basically without being affected, the party decided to flee. And so all of you ran back downstairs and, following Maximilian's lead, entered the downstairs dining room of the manor, which is where we pick up now. All of you catching your breath, the stomping boots of the Headless Horseman having just faded from earshot as he searches the manor for your party.
I'm not overly fond of having to play hide and seek with that undead knight.
He hurts. V sits down. You guys see that from like his shoulder blade to his like nipple, basically, it's just slashed and it's like hanging loose and needs to be resewn.
Well, I certainly didn't hurt him, which is mighty unsettling.
It's best we stay away for now.
I agree.
We should certainly make this quick. I'd like for us to not to be in this manner as much as possible.
I think you mean forever. Oh, Dad, can I have some help? He's like trying to sew up a part of his body.
It'll just be basic stitches right now. We'll get it more secure in a bit.
He'll nod. And Darcine gets to work on helping V sew up the part of his body that was nearly cleaved off by the ebon blade of the Headless Horseman. What would the rest of you like to do?
I'm gonna take a look around this room.
We're in the dining hall, right?
Yes, it's kind of this lonely dining hall. It's on the west side of the building, and it stretches out in front of you. It's dominated at the center by a long dining table, which is actually covered with what appears to be a large meal, like a dinner meal, that has been prepared. And there's a lit fireplace at the far end of the hall, burning kind of low. And if you'd like to make perception tests, you're more than welcome.
Yeah, I'm gonna start walking down the side of the table.
Sounds great.
I'll go over towards the fireplace and see if there's anything,
Yeah.
any details there that...
9.
The highest target number you're looking for with this test is a 12.
I got a 5.
Got a 9.
All of you notice that the stretching table, this meal is prepared. It's fresh. Additionally, the top log in the fireplace, when you reach the fireplace, Charlotte, you're kind of like immediately in detective mode. It looks fairly fresh, like it's recently been tossed into the flame to keep the fire going. Additionally, above the fireplace, you notice that there's a very old, ornate shield. It's a round shield, and it has what looks like to you is probably a family crest of a raven spreading its black wings around the moon.
I'll make a note of that, and probably a small sketch as well.
Also, basically parallel to you on your right side, once you reach the end of the room, you would notice that there's another door. It's closed. It looks like it probably leads into a connecting hall on the west side of the first floor.
I'd probably make my way down to that other door and try not to make noise. We're not, I guess, stealthing. I want to see, and then I want to put my ear up to the door and see if I hear anything in the next room.
Okay, make another perception test for me. This one's target number is 12.
Ah, 12. Let's go.
Very, very faintly, you hear something. It's not the shuffling of feet. It sounds like something dragging, but it sounds like it's multiple rooms away. So it's not directly in the hall that's on the other side of this door. It's probably in one of the rooms that connects to it.
Okay, cool. I will kind of keep my head against the door. Well, I'll pick up my head and I'll say, I think this hallway on the other side of this door is clear. And then I'm just going to go back to, like, listening. I'm going to listen, like, kind of, like, keep watch on that side.
Max, this feast that stretches over the table, it's very reminiscent of what a medieval feast in this area would have been. Freshly hunted pheasant and kind of like a stretch of what would have been food from the gardens, along with a roasted pig sitting on a spit in kind of like the middle of the table. Like, this is like a family feast that a lord would have had.
Interesting.
See, there's even alcohol at the table. And all of it smells really good. Well, the alcohol still smells really strong, but
I'll examine it through the dragon shard. Max doesn't entirely trust it.
sure. There is a aura of magic around this meal. It's faint, but it's there. It's been touched magically somehow.
There it is. Yes.
Charlotte has been in enough creepy manners that had secret things in fireplaces that she's going to see if there's any loose bricks or strange seams or anything.
Sure. Make a study test. The target number is 17.
Alright, I make it easy because of the magnifying glass.
Drops it to a 14.
Oh, I got an 11. Damn.
Not able to find any hidden passages that you noticed or hidden buttons anywhere.
She wouldn't be able to sleep tonight if she didn't look, so.
Yeah. It's like that scene in Young Frankenstein where they're looking for the... Put the candle back!
Incredible.
Max would like to examine the feast to see if he can determine what the nature of the magic on it is.
Make a lore test. This is against a target number of 10.
Five.
You're not sure. Nothing about it seems like poisoned or off to you. There's no like the aroma is of like extremely freshly cooked food.
Okay.
Not that I'm saying you should try it. I'm just saying that there's nothing hinting at that other than it's weird that this fresh meal is out unattended.
My sword glowing?
Well, this is
I'm sorry.
This is quite the feast, but I'm not entirely sure of its intended audience or effect on such persons.
I've half a mind to think that this is routine. After all, if they are, well, somewhere between life and death, it could be that they're repeating what they know and perhaps setting out a family feast is commonplace. Although they know they can't eat it, so...
Yes. That itself is not so strange, but an enchanted feast seems not quite so commonplace, no?
Well, I've yet to see much real food in this town, so I imagine some sort of supernatural help might have been involved in the preparation here. Or
Fair enough.
perhaps it's a trick, and if we were to eat it, we'd fall asleep and never wake up. Or is that just poison?
V, you can't taste anything anyway, right?
Well, I can if I add a lot of spices.
It would not be best to taste this food, I think.
It does smell really good.
And
just
doctor,
saying.
here I thought you were a man of... And here, doctor, I thought you were a man of science.
If we were in a safe space, then yes, I would test it. But it is not safe. And you say there's magic on it.
Yes, very well, very well. I suppose we'll have to remain in suspense.
By all means, take some with you. We can try when we get back.
Jensen, by any chance is your sword glowing here?
Yeah, he take his ear off the door and look down, pop it out.
It's not glowing currently.
And he'll kind of like stand up and twist around so that you guys can see a little bit of a hilt that's out of the scabbard. Not right now.
Well, that's a relief, at least. I suppose there is one other possible reason for this. I'm going to go light the, what is it called? The ghost wick candle.
Okay.
I want to see if there's any spirits at the table.
When you light the ghost wick candle, its translucent flame emits, and then the area kind of around it ripples with a faint energy. Just enough for each of you to feel your hair blow on top of your head a little bit, like a soft breeze rolling through the room. As it expands, it's revealed to all of you that there is a spirit sitting at the table alone currently. Portly and aged, with a kind of a big, bushy mustache, and connected to large button chops, 5 o'clock shadow across his chin, well dressed in a fine tunic and medieval kind of wear. And he sits at the table just kind of emptily staring at the food. Additionally, another spirit drifts through the closed door and sits down one of the dishes, but a spectral form of it, where that dish is sitting, kind of like a medieval maid woman. And as she does that, she kind of hums to herself and then turns and starts to drift back towards the door again. Like she's in a repeat of setting the table.
I'll sit across from the man and just kind of observe him for a while. I'm gonna do subtle things to try to get his attention, but I'm not gonna like call out to him. I want to see if he'll notice me.
What kind of things do you do to try to get his attention?
I'll kind of just like fold my hands on the table in front of me and just look at him almost expectantly. Maybe clear my throat.
When you clear your throat, the empty gaze kind of shifts. The neck shifts, and the folds of fat under his chin kind of stretch as he looks up at you, emptily staring directly at you.
Dinner for one?
Oh, they'll all come down eventually. Not that it matters to me. I'm always here.
And who might you be, if I might ask?
Branson Harlow.
And what brings you to supper so early, Branson?
A lord should dine with his family? No? This is the Harlow Manor, after all.
Indeed he should.
I may not be as recognized as my brother the bishop, but I still enjoy the food.
As you should. This is a fine spread.
Yes, nary a better feast can be found in Lambeth.
So I've heard from its inhabitants.
He just kind of watches you.
Might you know where he resides within the manor? I've come to meet him, but no one has brought me to him yet.
Oh, yes. The butler has gone feral. Doesn't greet at the door anymore. As for Gareth, I'm sure he'll find you when the time is right.
Perhaps you're right. Suppose I'll take a look around then, if you wouldn't mind.
Please enjoy the food.
Perhaps at a later time. I've not much of an appetite.
He leans forward after he says that, and he starts sticking his fat hands into different foods and pulling out spectral portions of it as he starts just kind of gluttonously consuming everything in front of him.
Right, I'll leave you to it.
See, Doctor? He's eating the food and he seems perfectly fine.
If not a bit lonely.
Quite a healthy fellow under the circumstances, if I'm only judge.
Filthy. I laugh from behind.
Well, you can try the food. I will not stop you.
Max will pocket a couple of rolls or something that seem like they'll keep.
Sure.
I'll go up to where Jensen is and kind of put my ear to the door as well. Just look at him and say, perhaps we should be moving on then.
I did hear some dragging, of a chest or body. Although I don't think we'll find many bodies around here. But on the other side of this door is a hallway, I reckon, and across from it, I assume more rooms.
Well, anything's better than where that monster is.
Did not sound quite that heavy or menacing, that's for sure. I'm gonna look around everybody else, and when we're ready, I'm gonna put my hand on the door, wait for everybody to get ready.
V's kind of stretching his arm now that it's fully working again. Yeah, I'm good. Well, not really. I feel like shit, but what can you do?
Welcome to the Hollow Manor. And with a smirk on my face, I'm gonna open the door slowly and kind of peek my head out.
The door kind of sighs open. You're greeted by a wall, an intersecting hall in front of you going left and right. As you peer down the right side, you see doors. It looks like 2 or 3 that stretch out before eventually it turns a corner and you can't see where the hall leads. And then when you look to the left, you see the hall almost immediately, after about 20 feet of going to the left, looks like it opens into a slightly larger room.
I'll pull my head back and say, rooms to the right and a larger, more grandiose gathering area to the left, I think. Any suggestions?
Well, grandiose seems to fit the bishop pretty perfectly, so perhaps we start there.
Would not have said it better myself. And I'll just open the door and step out into the hallway.
I will follow.
As all of you step out and turn to the left, you walk quietly, as you can anyways. The wood seems to always be creaking in this building. Until you reach that opening, it opens into a room that expands about 30 feet out and 30 feet to the right. At the far end of this room, there's a staircase that looks like it leads up to somewhere on the second level. And just to the left of that, against the opposite wall from where all of you entered, tucked into the corner, there's a door. A door that has a large chain running through it that's tied shut. Kind of looped together multiple times. That's kind of blocking that door from opening. Tucked under the staircase are some crates, and there's a small table that has a potted plant kind of resting on it with matte green but kind of bright in its color green leaves.
Max is going to gesture with his cane at the chained up door and say, now if I were going to keep a monster in a place like this, I believe that's where I'd put it.
That is the most interesting door in this room. I concur.
Can I go check the plant? Pick it up, see if there's anything under the pot? Or
Sure.
If the dirt looks like it's been moved at all?
I'm gonna look through those crates.
Go ahead and make a study test against a target number of 6 for me, Stella. Daracine, when you lift the pot, there's nothing underneath it. It does look like it's being cared for. Go ahead and make a natural sciences test. It's a target number of 10 for me.
I passed.
Sure,
I got a
you
7.
passed. It's mostly refuse inside. Some of it is old food that's been left. Some of it is like the same as the kind of foods that you saw on the table in the that's already been served out, but it's rotted, which is probably how you would expect to find most food in this place. It looks like, based upon your inspection, that these crates were dragged from the other side of the hall, like one of the rooms down the right side of the hall, the direction you guys didn't go.
I got 11.
11? You're... So looking over this plant, you recognize it. It's called calendula. And you're aware that if mixed with the right other herbs, it can have healing properties. And this is like, it's being cared for. So somebody's watering this for sure.
Is it like the leaves that are
Yes.
useful in? Can I grab some leaves off of it?
Yeah, you could grab some leaves off of it and like stopper them in a bottle if you want.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're just successful in doing that. You don't need to roll anything. So wait, what are we doing? Do you want me to try to rip the chain off the door?
I would have started towards that side, but kind of along the wall. I'm like kind of just studying anything I see along the way. Like if there's any
Make a study test.
portraits. Yeah.
The target number is 12.
God, I can't even hit that.
There are some portraits on the wall. There's a few portraits of what appear to be Gareth Harlow as well as his wife posing with different of their children. One of them is a young girl. Her hair looks vaguely like the hair that was stretched over the gaunt girl's face.
I'm just kind of like sigh and shake my head and keep going.
When you reach the chain, it's pretty tight. It would be like an athletics test if you wanted to try to undo it or pull it off.
I will kind of like look at it for a second. I'm gonna turn around and see what progress everybody else has made, because I kind of want to. This does seem like the most important thing. Well, the most interesting thing in the world to Jensen. So I'm gonna wait till everybody's like done doing their thing.
V is just kind of watching the party's back down the direction of the hall that the party didn't go.
Is there a way I can like pop my head up the staircase a little bit and see?
It's like an L, so you would need to like
I
go
just
up
start
it.
going up
Yeah.
it. Okay.
Which you can totally do if you want.
Not without backup.
So what does the party want to do? Talk to each other.
Kind of reconvene with everyone.
Do we go up or try to go through that door?
That door? The chained one.
Well, these two could probably break the chains, no?
And you know,
Personally, I would be less concerned with what's possible than with what's wise.
well, think about it this way: what in this place would need all them chains to be held them back? One I can think of is that knight, but that knight is obviously not behind this door. But the other one could be the Grey Warden.
That is true, and it would be a gamble.
It would be, but it may pay off. We could use someone else that knows this place better than us.
But think of it this way, if we are able to break these chains, whatever is held beyond is something we can deal with. If it cannot get through these chains itself.
Yes, that is a good point.
It's a gamble.
Well, if we're going to open this door, I suggest we all be on our guard. I will be over here.
Do the chains appear magical in any way?
It's just like a clump of chains looped and tied through like the door's big like handle connector. There's nothing making them seem magical to you just off the bat. They're not like glowing or anything like that.
Did any of you folks see a key by chance for these chains?
There's no like lock or anything.
Oh, there's no lock? Oh, okay. Oh.
They're like snaking around it.
It's like the door is held in place by chains almost.
Okay. I'll look at V and I'll be like, would you mind helping?
Sure. And he'll reach up. So he'll make it easy for you. The target number to break these chains is an 18. So it goes down to a 15 with V's help.
Okay. No,
An athletics test.
Yeah, that's not the right. Oh.
You're not even able to tear them off. There's just, for some reason, these chains are some of the strongest chains you've ever encountered.
I wonder if there's a way to get in from the room's ceiling. Perhaps we can go up a floor, figure out where that room is, and find a way to burst through from above.
I am starting to get very unhappy about how doors in this place are making me feel like a lesser man. I won't lie.
There are a lot of really tough doors in this town.
Well, then I think we go up.
Alright, the party gathers at the bottom of the stairs and starts to creep upwards. And as you start to creep upwards to the west hall on the second level, I need one of you to roll a D100 for me. Who's it gonna be?
Me.
Stella's volunteering. Which one's your 100?
They're gonna be in this order.
Okay, sounds good.
18.
18. As your party gets to the so you get to the center section where it curves up, and you turn and you start up the steps. In the distance, somewhere upstairs, all of you hear a heavy marching of boots.
Oh, well, does not look like up is going to budge either.
What all of you do?
Can I'll hold up a hand and I'll proceed up kind of quietly. I kind of just want to see if I can get to the top of the steps and poke my head out and see.
Make a stealth test for me. Target number is 12.
I would probably visibly tense at the bottom of the stairs.
It's an 8.
As you peek up, you see kind of the connecting upstairs halls. One extends out in the direction that you're looking, and one also extends out to the left of you, and the upstairs doors to different rooms. As you do, and you look up, you see at the other end of the hall that extends out directly in front of you, you see the Headless Horseman hand still on the handle of a door that's halfway open, as his body tenses and stops and then starts to slowly turn in your direction.
Yeah, I'm going to turn. I'm going to gesture for everyone to like go.
Oh, shit.
I need a group stealth test. The target number is going to be 30. I should roll for V as well.
I got 5.
I got 11.
So that's 16.
I got 6.
It's 22.
I don't know. 5.
It's 27. And then V.
V got 9. All right. By the time all of you reach the bottom of the stairs, the boots start to faintly decrease, like he's turned back in another direction.
I'm so anxious.
Yes, perhaps
I Resident Evil'd you guys.
perhaps we go back to the prior hallway and see what's over there.
Clear the other side of it, maybe.
Those doors gotta be easier than those other ones.
You know, we could try to draw him from one area to another area eventually if we need to. Like, Jensen could be a distraction. He's loud. I don't want to be the distraction because I already feel woozy.
Well, let's hope we won't need one, but we can revisit the concept when we get there.
I'm just saying, okay. V will kind of turn back towards that hallway. And as he looks down the hallway, he'll point to all of you and he'll say, there's an open arch and then some closed doors past it. I think it might be like the kitchen or something.
Well, we know there are likely some active spirits in there.
Are you carrying the Ghostwick candle lit right now?
Yeah, I probably wouldn't have blown it out if I knew there were, like, house servant spirits.
The house servant spirit of the maid kind of bumbles back through and floats past all of you towards the open arch.
I will gesture for everyone to follow her.
Okay. All of you kind of quietly as you can make your way down the hall. And you reach a large open kitchen. It's quiet, but it's overwhelmed with a smell of rot. Large water basins are overgrown with the mold that you found pulsing throughout the city, and old pots are filled to the rim with rotted food. Old utensils and cooking pans are scattered through the room, and all of them seem to have remained kind of untouched in this condition of destruction for what feels like centuries. There's one path through the other end of this room. It's an arch that leads to a small connecting room that looks like it has a set of steps that lead down into a larder. And you would know a larder was kind of like a cool place, usually below ground level, that a medieval castle would kind of like keep all of their food that they're trying to keep as fresh as possible for as long as possible. Also, it was usually where the servants ate and like did a lot of the cooking. That wasn't done in the main kitchen.
Well, perhaps if we cannot get into that room from above, maybe there is a way in from below.
I was thinking similarly. It also might be a good idea to look at their stores of food. Although I have half a mind to think it might all be rotten, like what I found before, but people often keep their secrets underground.
If it is all rotten down here, then it's then something more about the table in that room, right? Because it's not rotten up there.
Could definitely be the case. Or perhaps they have some sort of magical process to revitalize rotten food.
Or the food is just still rotten and just blamed through magic.
They did a good job of covering this.
It is odd, that there's all this rotten food about. Food doesn't just sit around rotten for centuries.
Yes, I think there may be some sort of temporal effect on this town. After all, it's, as we've discovered, no one is able to leave, even us. So I think this place may be beset from time in some fashion, as if it's frozen.
Basically meaning that we can't find any pattern in time-based things like rotting food, right? That's what we're getting at here.
That does seem to be the case. Or at least likely.
that could also mean that many of the events that transpired here occurred much more recently than we were expecting, as far as the townsfolk and such are concerned.
That could certainly be the case, yes. I'm going to start heading down towards the larder.
All right.
I would like to see what's down there.
Charlotte makes her way to the staircase, peers down. Is everyone else following?
Yeah, I'll follow.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'll pull out a handkerchief and put it in front of my nose as we start walking through all the allotted areas.
As you head down the stone steps that lead into the larder, the rot and the mold that refuse to go away seems to bleed through all the cracks in the stone. It's an even greater concentration as you go below than it was above. The larder's main room holds two connecting arches that appear to lead into smaller rooms within the stone. And it has several tables and many shelves, barrels, sacks, and crates. Additionally, there's a large pit in kind of the center area of the main room with a grate that kind of dominates that area in the center. And as your party kind of steps down into this area and tries to determine in the darkness if there's anything of use or interest down here besides the rot and the mold, all of you kind of feel like you're sensing a stirring in the dark.
I'll immediately pull out the scimitar.
It's glowing.
Yeah. Oh. And I'll step out. I'll try to step out in front of his price and kind of like maneuver you as gracefully behind me as possible.
I help you in that endeavor.
The mold. Does the mold look the same as when we would go down to the ritual circles in the other parts of town? Like when we would have to go down to the basement, like in the inn and stuff? Is it the same kind of...
It's heavier here.
But it is the same stuff, it's just more of it. Okay. I'm gonna say there must be some kind of circle down here too, as I get into a defensive position.
That's this. This is kind of like the hall that you enter in from.
Oh, we have a man.
Made it myself.
That's dope. Okay.
So you can see kind of like sacks and barrels. There's large glass storage and other kinds of storage here. And then over here, there's tons of bottles of alcohol racked into these shelves. Some of them broken. Some of them look like they still might remain intact. Can't really see exactly what's going on in these rooms until you go in.
I'm gonna make note of where the alcohol is for possible fight-related reasons later. Do I sense where that's coming from? What direction that strain's coming from?
Well, no. You're not sure. You just feel uneasy down here. Like there's something wrong.
You said it was pretty dark?
Yeah, there's nothing to light this room, so
y'all see my blade.
Yeah, his blade creates standard light and then dim light.
Sting. Can I say that?
I've got the candle too.
I don't think the ghost wick candle actually provides light. It just reveals. But the translucent flame is not currently revealing any spirits around you.
Okay.
So you don't think that there's any in this room?
All right. I think I'll use that to light a regular candle then.
Okay, sure.
Swap them out.
You have your lantern.
I actually don't have a lantern. I think
really?
I gave it to someone or I left it somewhere.
Okay. Well, fair enough.
For the most part, everyone else should have one, though, I think, because we all got one.
Yeah, I'll light a lantern.
Max will pull out the little pocketbook he keeps on the inside of his jacket and flip through it. And once he finds the page he's looking for, he'll scan down it and mutter something to himself and cast Magical Sight.
Nice. What strength? It's always the
2.
hardest part of the question. 2, okay. So dark vision, anything else?
And how many range bands is the room? Like from where we are to the other end?
It's like 3.
Okay.
It's
He's
like
probably fine then.
Yeah. It's like 2 range bands wide and 3 range bands long, basically.
Okay. Yeah, then he'll use the second effect where you can spend 1 minute while it's active to identify an object, basically.
Dope.
And 2 range bands of dark vision.
All right. Wait, how do you guys want to progress?
Do I notice anything important within 2 range bands of me that hasn't already been?
Go ahead and make a
Point it up.
perception test for me.
Okie dokie.
I'm gonna start taking
15
the.
is the highest target number for perception tests in this room.
Executives. Here's the other one. There. I got a 9.
So you notice that in the center of the room, where the grated pit is, there's trails of what appears to be a slime-like material on the ground. It's thicker. It's thicker than water, and it's like trailing through the room. Additionally, you can tell off to the side here that it would take some time to look through them, but there's definitely like very old vintage alcohols kept in these. You would need to like look through them more closely to figure out if there's anything of value, and that's what you get from a 9.
Sounds good.
I'm gonna take a step out into the room.
You can go. A range band in this room is like 15 inches. So.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna kind of inch away from, like, go this way a little bit.
It's like
and
16
just, like,
inches.
I'm just gonna take, like, slow steps into the room,
Sure.
like, you know, constantly on high alert until I'm gonna keep going like this way.
Anybody else going anywhere? Is everyone else just gonna stand by the entrance? Sure, then you want to go investigate this?
Yeah.
Go ahead and make a study test for me. Target number is 10.
Alright, make it easy.
Max will cautiously follow.
Okay. V's gonna kind of try to keep himself in front of most of the party like he usually does. Max, you can make a study test on those as well.
Okay.
Dari, you could make a natural sciences test on the slime if you want to look at some slime.
Yeah.
What'd you guys get on your study tests?
11.
17.
Okay. Mostly what you find is broken bottles and things that are not numbered or dated or marked in any way. It's hard to tell if they're still good to drink or not. However, you do find 4 vintaged bottles of wine. Charlotte, something about these bottles that catches your eye is that they've been vintaged between the years of 912 and 1640.
Interesting.
Also, they're very expensive. They'd be worth a lot of money where you guys came from.
Sure, yeah. I might drink
Isn't 1640 later than we would have expected for Old Lambeth?
It's all of the dates are later than Old Lambeth.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Old Lambeth was in like the
Old Lambeth is from before
313.
when wine
300s?
vintaging would have started.
313.
Okay.
yeah
From
313
the
is when it was
information we got.
founded. So this is long
Got it.
after.
You know, based upon the
Interesting.
fact that you all started reading the book, you know that Old Lambeth existed as a town that people were living in at least up until 326, because that's the year your other characters are there.
Hmm.
But yeah, all of these are dated after that.
I'll probably
And the current year in regular Lambeth is 18 something, right?
1888. So the newest one of these bottles of wine is like 240 years older than the time you guys came from.
Okay.
I think I'm going to take those 4 bottles and just kind of put them on a table nearby.
You
I
like
don't
put,
wanna
put them
hold
out here on the table.
Yeah, I'm just going to put them on the table. And
What'd you get on the natural sciences test?
11.
So, the slime that's covering the ground is a viscous material. It's denser than water, and it trails through the room in several directions, as if something's been passing through and sloughing it off on the floor. Additionally, as you get a closer look at it, it definitely has acidic properties because it's very slowly eating away at the stone. And you would imagine that this material would probably very, very slowly eat away at most materials that it came in contact with, based upon its behavior here.
We should avoid touching this as best you can. It looks to be acidic of some kind. It might burn through your skin or your clothes. However, it does not seem to be moving very quickly at this. Just be careful.
Well, fortunately, I was rather disinclined to touch it in the first place. But thank you for the warning.
They're sitting out the wine as you turn back to tell them that.
I'm gonna keep walking, but I went like pretty close to these tables just to like glance down at the tables, see what was on them. But I'm gonna head,
There's some scattered parchment paper and utensils. It looks like that these tables were probably used by servants to eat a lot.
Sure.
This large table has a very old set of playing cards. You can tell it's old because it's not suited, and it's not like the number of a playing card deck from your time. It's like half the amount of cards, and they're like strange. They're more like tarot cards.
Can I gather them up?
Sure.
And-
Gather up. There's 13 of them that you found.
Okay. Is there like any kind of holder? Like is there like a little pouch or anything that's sitting
You
on the
don't see
table?
anything.
No. Okay, I'll slip them in a pocket
Sure.
and just kind of keep watching. I never really take my eyes off of the front of the room. Like I don't turn my back to my friends or the center of the room. Really.
All right. What is everybody else doing?
I would look at V. Do you want to check out this room over here with me?
He'll nod and he'll walk this way. When he enters it, you guys see some crates, along with these large boxes that have been kind of fixed to the ground that are just full of refuse and trash. It looks like people or servants were like piling stuff up. Additionally, the two of you would notice that behind some of the crates, there's another grated pit. It's smaller, but it's possible that it's part of the same system as the one out here. And you would also notice some of the slime around its entrance and trailing away from it.
Like something was in here, trailing it out, or just that whatever this came from was in both rooms?
Whatever was dropping this or causing the slime trails to be left has been in both rooms.
Okay.
The rest of you just kind of hover and wait for them to return.
The slime goes all the way into both pits, right?
Does seem
Like
like
it's pretty okay.
is there a place around the pit to like stand and look into it, or is
yeah,
it,
definitely.
like, covering? I mean, yeah, I'll cautiously go
Okay.
over there.
To this main one?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead and make a perception test as you look down the pit. Target number is a 17.
Does the slime appear magical to my magical sight?
Yes, it does.
Lovely.
Damn, 13.
13.
I had to roll very, very well to get that.
Charlotte. Go ahead and make a dodge test for me.
This is how I die.
Oh no.
She goes. Dodge test, you say.
I got a 8.
Shreds, you say.
Hey, you can actually get an 8, I think. So that's good.
I can.
She doesn't believe.
Does not sound confident.
Let me make sure that's still correct. No, it is not. Four.
Oh no.
About to get sneezed on, about to die.
As you look down, you see nothing in the darkness. Until you see some kind of shifting mass. A stretching ooze that reaches up. It jets kind of up like a spigot opening through the grates, and it reaches out, grabbing Charlotte by the chest and slamming her down against the grates before releasing her again. Charlotte, you do take 1 wound of bludgeoning damage.
Does having an armor rating help with that?
Yes, it does.
Oh, okay, then I'm fine.
She stumbles back in surprise,
Fine.
and then I need you to make a constitution test.
Oh, that's worse.
Just a little CT, little concussion.
As a creature
Fine.
comes out. A rotting mass of slime and ooze that's collected the rot of the food, the trash and refuse of the room, and even the mold within its body. It retches quietly into the stonework of the room around all of you. And as it prepares to continue its assault on the party, I need one of you to put up your initiative against it.
Jensen?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you have the highest.
Mine is, let me remember exactly. Just increases by 2. It's your agility plus that 2 plus the 1 from, I think it's 6 is what I have. Yeah, 6.
Six. All right, your party goes first. What did you get on your Constitution test?
6.
6. Unfortunately, you do take 1 wound of poison damage as well.
I'm assuming armor rating does not help.
It does not.
Well, then I am down.
Yeah. Charlotte stumbles back and collapses, choking on the noxious fumes that are released by the creature's attack. Who would like to go first for the team?
Can I see her?
creature.
Can I rush towards her and try to get her out of there?
Yeah, you definitely can.
Okay.
You move
That's
up.
what I would like to do.
You'd be able to drag her back a little ways, but I'll let you basically toss her back farther if you want, over to the table.
Well, I will. I'll with more grace than that. I'm not going to toss her. I am going to try and
you just put her behind you.
Yeah, I'm going to turn my back to the creature and start making my way towards one of the chairs on the table.
The two of you in here hear the rushing of feet and hear Charlotte cry out as she's struck by the creature.
Eat, doctor.
Oh crap, Dad! I think they got attacked.
Let's get out here.
Yeah, V can rush in.
Don't touch it, unless you have to.
V stumbles up and it stops at this range and looks back at you. How am I supposed to help?
Just, I don't know. Distracted, maybe?
Okay. He's gonna start jumping up and down and shouting, "Hey, hey!" and it'll kind of slowly turn towards him. And that is V's turn.
Real quick.
Yes.
In the rules for when you reach your wound threshold, it still says you're making it against an incidental skill test.
Oh shit! Yeah, that's a 6.
Okay, well, that one I passed.
Ayo. Okay. And I believe that means you're stabilized, but you are still at 0, or you're still
Lose
at
one
your
health
threshold.
wound and are considered conscious but prone.
Yep, so you're
Okay.
up again. So
I'm
they
at
don't
one,
he-
but
they don't
I'm-
need to heal you.
Yeah.
Alright. Who else is gone? Jensen is gone, V is gone. Charlotte's basically.
I would look over
Max.
Charlotte.
Oh, go ahead.
She appears to have recovered and stabilized herself. When she stabilized, she dropped the 1 wound she had, so.
I am going to.
I need like soul healing.
Yeah,
I need someone to tell me it's going to be okay.
After
I
being
actually-
slimed.
I'm
Actually,
slaying
had
her
a
breath.
thought about that for my patch up. Like, would that actually work on poisons and stuff, or is that just like?
You mean like healing a wound?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It can remove any kind of wound that a person has.
Seeing you approach, I'll kind of like on or off onto you as gently as possible, so that I start to turn back towards the creature.
Yes, I gotcha.
That's cool.
I gotcha. And I'm gonna do my best to patch her up.
I don't think she has more than 1
Yeah,
health wound.
my wound threshold is 1, and I recovered 1 when I passed the recovery check. So, like, mechanically speaking, I'm fine.
Yeah.
I'll just help you walk over to the table then.
Yeah,
Okay,
that
sure.
would be
Yeah,
fine.
yeah.
That
Chris,
would be-
Chris brings you over to the table. with
That
his
would be
hand.
lovely, actually.
Why?
Thank you.
You would
Get
see
farther
that I
away
am
from
still
the table.
covered in cuts and shit too, and mechanically I am at half health.
So is V, I think. All right, Max, what are you doing?
As soon as he sees this thing coming up from the grate, Max is going to whip out his pocketbook again and start muttering something and waving his one of his hands in what seems like an overly dramatic manner. And he's going to cast telekinesis on one of the chairs behind the thing and launch it at it.
Okay. It's going to make a dodge test. And I believe you roll an attack for that.
Power.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Let me find the right dice.
It got a 4.
Well, I can probably 14.
All right, yeah, that strikes it. How much damage do you do with that?
3 wounds.
3 wounds. All right, the shards break and strike across its body. You do notice that some of the damage got through, but it does absorb most of the chair just into its body and starts to break it down inside of itself. It's got kind of this like depth of translucentness within its slimy form, so you can kind of see the stuff enter and then start to disintegrate.
Lovely.
All right, I think that's all of your turns. Shifting back and forth.
Oh, wait, sorry. It's 4 wounds. I forgot
Oh,
it's...
nice.
I forgot it. The way it reads, it's 1 wound plus the number in the table, and I just took the number from the table.
Okay. And then it's going to shift, and it's going to reach out, lurching with one of its arms towards V. Somebody want to make a dodge roll for V?
Oh, Max will also back up a bit.
Yeah, sure.
I'll dodge for V.
Let's see what V's dodge is.
He's got a 0 in dodge, but a 2 in agility.
Okay, so it's a D4 and a D8. Yeah, that's what's in there. It got a 4. Yikes.
I rolled a 6.
Okay, and then it is going to shift and off. It's going to shift off of the grate and kind of just move up so it's adjacent to both of you. And that is the Rot Monster's turn. What would all of you like to do? Feel free to formulate a plan in character if you'd like. Or just attack it. Just attack the crap out of it.
Well, sorry, I was making sure I remember my full attack. Yeah, I'm going to charge it down. I'm going to charge at it and start slashing at it.
All right, go for it.
I'm also going to mark it with my my favored enemy, Undead Hunter ability. So if I do my attacks against that creature while wielding my ordained weapon to deal an additional wound in my weapon's damage type. I'm gonna activate that. I'm gonna mark this thing. And yeah, then I get and then we're gonna roll. Good attack. And it's gonna be
Rolled an 8 on its dodge.
the roll plus 7. So 17 to hit.
Yep. And hits. How many wounds total do you deal to it?
Is this considered a monstrosity?
It sure is.
Okay. Then it's the weapon is 3. I have the 2 from strike down the beast, and 1 additional from undead hunter. So 7. 7? 6.
Does undead hunter only affect undead? Because this guy's
yes, that is true.
Just the news.
Oh, so I don't mark it. I assumed it was undead because that's what I. Okay, never mind.
So you do 6. Yeah, most of that goes through. As you pull back your blade after you strike it, you see the whole blade where it was struck. You see the slime over it, and then you see it start to sizzle and smoke slightly. But you definitely wounded it.
Part of my ordained weapon ignores resistances of monstrosities. Just a reminder.
Perfect. Okay.
Yeah.
It's a screech kind of bubbles up in its throat as you cut the slash across its body, and it's clearly having trouble like reforming that area.
Okay. Yeah, and then I will just get back into kind of a defensive position and ready to parry if it strikes out with something.
Man, I'm glad you're on our side. V is gonna move away from it now that he's seen what it can do, and the fact that it charred up your blade or something.
Yeah.
And he's gonna grab one of these chairs and he's gonna throw it at it, but unfortunately it scatters off the wall behind it because it dodged to the side. What would the rest of you like to do?
Could I tip this table on its side to hide behind it if it spews its ooze around?
You pull the table up and tip it on its side. Charlotte, Max.
Charlotte is a lot smarter than I am in real life. Does she think it would be a bad idea to basically use the wine to make a firebomb and throw it in the pit? Would that ignite the whole room?
It depends on how flammable the creature is and the use.
Okay.
You definitely think fire would hurt this thing.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'm going to take one of the wine bottles.
Okay.
And try to form a makeshift
Molotov cocktail.
Kind of like a Molotov out of it.
You pop the bottle as they're distracting it, and you basically spend your deed this turn to make a Molotov cocktail out of one of the bottles, so you're ready to toss.
I'll have the candle ready to light it.
Okay. Do you want to move anywhere, behind the table with him? Or?
I'll look to Max and say, would you like to do the honors?
You could telekinesis.
Oh,
that's true.
Yeah, Max will notice what you're doing, and he'll come over and make a Molotov too.
Oh, nice.
And say, I think with a couple of these we can keep it busy.
We're gonna assume that Daracine moved the bottles before he flipped the table. So there were 4 of them sitting on the ground, and you each grabbed one. So there's 2 left on the ground, and each of you have made a Molotov.
Yeah, I probably would have grabbed them all as I saw him going for the table.
Sure.
And started making.
Wait, we're not using the good stuff, are we?
Well,
yeah, this is the good stuff.
We won't be able to enjoy the good stuff.
Chris doesn't even drink alcohol, and he knows this is a crime.
Max would look horrified. And grab one off the rack.
Okay, sure. Some intact random bottles on the rack, so you could make one out of that instead.
No.
Yeah.
So there's 3 remaining vintage bottles. Perfect.
Vintage.
I said Chris. I meant Jesse.
The vintage one is going to hit harder.
Yeah, the vintage ones are going to get hit harder for sure. All right. Okay. The creature is going to. It's going to reach out with another of its strikes. This time it's going to go at you, Jensen. And it rolled a 12 to hit you as one of its clawed hands extends with the slime and just reaches out to strike you.
I'm going to attempt and use my reaction to parrying blade, and I'm going to make a melee attack instead.
All right.
13.
Yep. You succeeded, so
All
it deals
right.
1 damage, right?
Dealing 1 wound of slashing to my opponent, ending their attack.
It does eat that damage, but after it unsuccessfully attacks you, it screeches out another bubbling screech, and then it slips back towards the grate and slips through it.
Oh, shit.
What would you guys like to do on your turn?
Is there any more pits in this place? Have we found any more? Don't go near them.
There's one in this room.
Perhaps perhaps Miss Charlotte's rather inventive use of the wine could still come in useful here.
Perhaps one for each pit.
Precisely what I was thinking. Max will bring a couple of bottles over from the rack and say, perhaps these ones this time, though. Wasting such a vintage is nearly as great a crime against humanity as that monstrosity itself.
Yes, as right as you are, Max. Unfortunately, I was blinded by my lust for life, but you are correct.
I do enjoy your
one
company,
must always-
Max. I'm
One must,
smirking at you.
one must always remember, my dear lady, there are things more important than life.
I'll try to remember that when I'm dying in the disgusting pit full of rotten slime.
All right, none of you have gone.
I'm sure you will.
What would you like to try to do?
I think it seems like Max and I are going to throw bombs into the pits.
Okay.
So I'm going to wait till Max is in position so that we can do it at the same time. I don't know.
Yeah, you can do that. So one of you needs to go to this door to toss it into that one, and then one of you.
I go to this last room that we never checked and just like head in there, just in case there's something back there.
All right, Jensen, you head in to inspect that room. Max, you head there. All right, so I'm actually not going to make you guys roll for this. Each of you lights your bombs and you throw them into the grates. As they hit the grates, the fire expands and you hear the bubbling screeches from somewhere down below. Jensen, as you reach this doorway, you notice the sacks. You notice some makeshift beds that were used for sleeping, and then also this chest over here, and then all of these crates burst to the side as the creature has to escape out of this third pit as flames start to ignite below.
Well, now why are you running? And I'm gonna fucking run at him.
You've already used your movement, but you could get to him through that stuff. You just wouldn't have an action. All right.
No, I'm gonna cut off his escape. I'm just gonna stand right there. He's got to go through me to get out of this room.
Daracina, you just gonna watch for now?
I'll get closer.
Okay.
Drink some wine.
Upon hearing the creature emerge, Max will say, well, suppose we might have missed one.
We most definitely did.
V runs over to the shelf, and he just finds the heaviest metal thing he can find to throw at this fucking thing when he sees it. Then on its turn, it is going to rush up to here.
Back for more.
And it is going to attempt to strike you again.
I have my reaction back, right? We took our turn.
Do. It rolled
I'm
a
going to
15
attempt
this time.
Oh, I rolled a 26.
Yep, you parry it away again, forcing it to stay in the room.
I'll look like I'm gonna slash down it, but I'll turn the blade so that I smack whatever's coming out at me with the flat of the blade.
Alright. It's your guy's turn. He managed to keep it from escaping. Jensen, doing work. Monstrosity Hunter.
I mean, I'm gonna attack him?
Sure.
Does that sound cool? Everybody want to start like that?
Yeah, kill him.
That is a 17 to hit.
Hits.
And I will, I'll do the 6.
Screeches again. It is still up, though. Jensen also, you have to kind of duck as from behind you, V shouts out for you to duck for cover, and then he throws a big chunk of loose iron just at it and manages to hit it. Only 1 damage goes through, but it starts to absorb the metal after it hits its body.
I'm gonna look at my sword with the little part I have and just assess if there's like actual damage?
There isn't a lot of actual damage on it, but you can tell that something is eating away at it, and it's gonna be a problem.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I gotta finish this fight, but then I'm gonna try to find something to wipe that shit off with.
All right.
Like a sack.
Sure. You gotta finish this fight, though.
Yeah.
All right. Who's up?
Max will say, "Oh, nothing wrong with the tried and true," and then he'll use telekinesis to grab 2 of the cheap bottles of wine and pull one to himself and one to Charlotte.
I will make another bomb.
Make a cocktail. Do you guys want to move to get ready? I'll let you stuff to make another bomb after you do that toss too, Jesse.
Good.
So you'll be ready to go next round as well. Jensen, you can see that they're preparing, but they're probably going to need you to like lead it out this doorway.
Okay.
You would have been able to move on your turn.
It
would be able to make a reaction attack. Because it's doing so good at that.
I mean, I've taken my turn. Do I have my reaction? I have my reaction back. Yeah.
Yeah, technically.
Okay. I would start to lead it out of the room and not turn my back on it.
It'll try to strike you. Let's go ahead and roll your attack against it. You rolled a 17. 12, 15, 17. Getting slowly better.
I rolled an 18 without my bonuses.
Yep, you parry it away again. The creature's looking frustrated.
That is 1 damage each time. I'll say, "Oh, you almost got it. Oh, you almost got it."
Its huge body is kind of like barely fitting through this archway as it's pulling itself forward. Its head kind of comically extends out of the archway.
And then I'm gonna, if it attacks, I'm gonna keep running. I'm gonna keep running out of the way, so that
you want to danger turn there? Okay. It is going to spit out a gout of the caustic material, and I knew it. Yeah, I need V, Jensen, and Daracine to all make dodge tests for me against a target number of 12. You knew that there was a problem immediately.
I got a 7.
Started measuring.
7?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
V got a 10. Or no, not even a 10. He got an 8. So he failed as well. Daracine, what'd you get?
I can't meet a 10.
Okay, perfect. All right, so each of you takes 1 wound of corrosive damage that can't be mitigated, and your attribute dice for your body test go down by 1 step until its next turn.
Does that mean I have a D2 for body?
Sure. Not really. No, yours just can't go down anymore. But theirs do, and that matters more for the fact that this creature's been taking a lot of damage. And that is its turn as it comes out the door.
Silver lining, Chris.
Are you down?
As weak as
Daria?
I only have 1 health.
Daria collapses behind you on the ground.
Yeah.
Shit.
All right. It is all of yours turns. What would you all like to do?
I'm gonna rush it down. Try to keep it in the doorway.
Do you want to wait and see if they're going to throw the bombs
that's
at
right.
it?
I'm gonna light the cocktail, hand it to Max, and say, "Throw this." I'm gonna go help the doctor.
Max is going to say, "Well, if you insist," and then holding the necks of the bottles in one hand and his pocketbook in the other, he's going to read to himself again, and then snap the book closed with a flourish as he tosses the bottles into the air, and then they'll soar across the room at the monstrosity.
And you're using telekinesis to toss them, I take it?
Yep.
All right, so it's 2 bottles. Go ahead and make your power test to hit it with the objects. Is it an individual power test for each object you're manipulating? I don't remember the wording on the power, to be honest. Let's find out.
Make a Make a power roll against a number of targets up to the amount of objects you can currently manipulate.
Okay.
So I would assume I make one for each object.
Yes, you do. But because these are the bombs that you guys made, it's going to do an additional 3 wounds of fire damage for each if they hit, along with whatever you would have gotten from the telekinesis toss.
The base damage would be 2, so
Okay,
2.
so, yeah,
2 of whatever, and then 3 fire.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll say 2 piercing, and because it's breaking glass. And
All right, 8 for the first one.
okay, it does manage to dodge that one.
Oh,
It crashes
5 for the
back
second one.
behind in the room, and it manages to dodge that one as well.
Yep.
But the room behind it's on fire.
Great. Fewer places for it to escape to.
Yeah, that's true, actually, because
Max-
that's the only grade it could have gone through.
Max is going to back up significantly.
He's gonna go look for more bottles. All right.
I'm gonna crack a pencil over the doctor's body, and I will cast heal on him.
Good doctor. You have been healed. Is it for just 1 wound?
It's 2. Although for him, it
I
doesn't
only
matter.
have 1.
Yeah.
True. I love all these characters riding on the edge. You know. All right.
It's like slap you in the face a couple times.
V runs back to throw another chair. Go ahead and make your attack on him, Jensen. As V bricks another chair shot and misses it.
It's nice. 16 to hit.
16. It fails its dodge. That's 6 more wounds.
I will use my free action, quick attack via the strikes feature to make another attack.
Sure.
It's a free action.
It's starting to wilt. Its body's starting to fall apart.
You would not get through this door.
Some of its viscosity.
That might have not actually. I might have missed. That's a 13.
That hits as well. How would you like to kill the rot monster?
Yeah. I'll say back through that door, and I'll slice it, slice it like sideways, and then I'll kind of with the butt of the sword hit the one half, and then slice through the other half and send it back to the door.
It crashes back through the door, and inside all of you can see its pieces of its body start to bulb up and then start to explode as the viscous material launches around the room and the creature dies.
Jesus.
And it smells awful. It's like rotten eggs, basically. The room calms down.
Is everyone all right?
Ugh.
Other than this putrid smell.
If you did not wake me up, I think this smell would have.
Well, I'd rather give you a better awakening than that, I think.
Remind me to restock up my salt. I realized I didn't have any on me when we started this thing, but we keep running into shit that.
That's a good point. Salt has a lot of uses beyond just throwing it on.
The edges of your blade have turned a little brittle.
Oh, I go find a patch, like a something, try and wipe off what I can. Yeah.
And you wipe it down.
Okay. Yeah, I gotta fucking find. I'll go find that blacksmith. We get out of here.
Max, go ahead and roll a d4 for me.
Okay. Max will say, salt, for that matter. I'd say this is a good argument for carrying alcohol wherever we go.
Read and some quick thinking, guys. Good job.
2.
2. You do manage to find 2 more intact bottles that you're able to convert into bombs if you'd like to carry with you.
Sweet. Yeah, that sounds like a great plan. I'll also get the actually nice bottles and tuck them away safely.
Okay.
Has the fires gone out, or do we need to get the fuck out of here?
The fire, it's burning low now. But yeah, you definitely destroyed most of the sacks and barrels in that room.
Okay.
You don't know about that.
Wasn't there a chest somewhere?
There was.
It was in the room that caught fire. So you'll have to go see it.
I'll take a look in there, but if I can't get to it, I'm not gonna suffer. I'm not gonna risk.
You'd be able to get to it.
Yeah, I'll get to it then. I'll go.
You probably need to
Up
pick
the
it up
wall.
and drag it out of the room.
I will attempt to do so.
Okay, you grab it and drag it out to this main room. It's a pretty large chest. Like Jensen literally has to drag it. He can't lift it. could
I'm trying to keep.
You could ask for help, man.
I figured less bodies in there, probably better.
Fair enough. My lungs aren't really affected by smoke, though.
I'm gonna drop it right in front of V and like kind of find a chair and just plop down on it.
I can't get through this lock. Well, I guess I could try to tear off the lock. He'll step forward like he's going to try to tear off the lock.
Does the chest or the lock appear magical?
The lock does appear magical.
Max will put a hand on V and say, just be careful with this one. It does seem to have some supernatural protection.
Can you do anything about that?
He'll start flipping through his pocketbook and say, I believe I have just the thing. And I'll cast Interrupt on it.
Okay. You don't even need to roll. It just shatters whatever the enchantment is. And then V leans forward and he yanks on the lock a couple times, but he isn't able to strength it open. Dad?
I'll see what I can do.
It is for you, it's a mechanics instead of a sleight of hand, but the target number is 10. Forget about momentum, guys.
$11.
11, nice. Okay. Picking open the chest. Inside. There's always one more dock I should have open than I have open. Oh, Max, now that you have the vision power, you would be able to identify the magical cloak that Jensen has been wearing this whole time, just to let you know.
Oh, neat.
I forgot about that.
I'll wait to see what's in the
knife. There was a knife.
Max will wait to see
Sorry.
what's in the chest and then start doing that as appropriate.
Inside of the chest, all of you find what appears to be a large sack full of golden crowns. It appears to be at least 1,000 of them. There's also a smaller sack that has a mixture of silver shields and bronze shields, which are lesser coins from the medieval times.
I think it's safe to say we are rich here. No?
Assuming we make it out of here, at least.
Assuming that we can
That's
take
true.
such things with us.
That is a good point. That will not be an easy task.
Yes, but think of the research I could fund with such a paycheck.
Oh, I want to take them, Doctor. I'm saying that if we get out of here, they might be tied to this place, even though they are more corporeal than the folks that live here.
Well, there is no harm in trying to take it.
Oh,
At
I
least
agree.
yet.
I agree.
Daracine, as you're shifting through the bags, you find within the coins of the smaller bag, you find a talisman on the end of a raw leather necklace. That's been it's like a copper talisman that's been beaten into the shape of a skull.
In the shape of a skull?
Yeah, it's been like the metal's been worked into the shape of a skull.
I'll just hold it up and there's also this. A necklace for someone.
When he holds it up for the party to look at, Maximilian, it also pings as magical.
Can I spend a minute trying to figure out what the magic in it is?
Yeah.
I would love to.
Sorry. taking the talisman from him and sitting down with it at the table, and spending a minute staring at it, you would know that its wearer has to be able to cast a power in the form of a spell. Has to basically be a spellcaster that can cast a power in the form of a spell at least a strength of 1 to even use it. And you would know that the first time the wearer gains 1 or more wounds to their health after they take a long rest, they can spin their reaction to activate the talisman and reduce the amount of wounds they would gain by 1. So if you were only taking 1, it would negate it. If you were taking 3, it would drop it to 2, etc. Additionally, you can instead spend your reaction to reduce the amount of wounds you would gain by 3, but when you do that, it destroys the talisman.
Handy trinket.
It's like an extra life for some people, you know.
One of you, yes.
Some
One of
people.
you 3 should definitely be wearing that. We don't need incidental damage just bopping you guys.
Daracine literally can't activate it, so yeah.
Oh,
Can
shit,
I?
that's right.
You said this is like a talisman, right?
Yes.
Charlotte is not about to just put a talisman on that she found in a creepy chest in a weird manner. Can I make some kind of knowledge check on this to see if I can glean anything about?
You can make a lore test. It'd be against a target number of 17.
Okay, I'm looking for where it might have been made, why it might have been made. $13. Yeah,
You're not sure.
17. Okay. Does it give me bad vibes?
Not really. It's definitely the magic within it feels otherworldly to you.
Okay.
It really depends on you as a person whether or not that gives you bad vibes.
Sure, that's fair. I mean, she gets bad vibes from most things. So.
Sure.
But yeah, she'll
I do
look
too.
at it. She kind of turn it over in her hand a couple times as Max is holding it up, and she'll say, "Well, it's certainly strange, but I mean, I trust your insight, Max. If it doesn't seem nefarious in any way, then it's probably safe to put on. I suppose we won't know until one of us does it."
I can detect no overt harm. It seems designed to protect the wearer.
Yes, that does seem quite useful, especially in places harrowing as this.
I do think it should go to you, Miss Charlotte, if you'd like it. You had quite the close call back there.
Yes, it's true. I've had a number of those recently. It wasn't until I came to Lambeth Hollow that I started dying on a regular basis.
You do seem somewhat prone to them, if I may say so.
Yes, a little bit of unluck, perhaps. But fortunately, we've got the good doctor here, and whatever this thing is, I'll take it from you. I will hesitate for a moment, and then I'll put it on.
When you put it on, you die. No, I'm just kidding.
You know what? That would not be surprising.
Max is like, well, I'm glad I didn't try it.
Can I use the talisman to prevent the death?
Yeah, you can. That'd be funny.
That'd be fucked. You put it on, and it makes you take 3 damage.
So you have to
Instantly,
use the talisman
you have to
destroy ability.
So stupid.
What a troll of an item.
Why did anybody make this?
Writing that down.
Writing that down.
Would you like to have
can
everybody lay out everything else that needs identifying on the table? Now that you guys have the ability to do that, Maximilian?
What else do we have that needs identifying?
I would love to.
There's the cloak that Jensen's been wearing. That's made of plant material. There's also the knife that Jensen found in the pig skeleton in the tavern.
We also found a Socratian ring last session, right?
Yes, you did. I don't think that pinged is magical though.
Oh, okay. It was just
and there's also the potion that was given to all of you
The
by
monster.
Botkins. So it's all stuff that Jensen has, I think.
Yeah.
I can't think of it.
Seeing as how we weren't exactly quiet down here no more, maybe we should get out of this room before, our hunter finds us.
Probably a good idea. Maximilian, are you able to
Another way out of here, is there?
walk and weave, as it were?
Not that you guys have found.
Um,
You'd just be going back up into the kitchen.
Yeah.
yes, it should be no trouble. You have no idea how many traveling shows I've had to do.
Oh, I can only imagine.
As all of you pick your way back through the room and up into the kitchen towards the hall, Max begins attempting to... Oops, you guys can all just take your things back anyways, because the support's going to go up. But Max will begin trying to identify different magical items that you guys have and their effects. And the potion, Max, you identify as a potion of beastly transformation. So somebody can spend their deed to drink it, and it transforms them into a beast-type creature of a threat equal to half their character rank rounded down. So for you guys, it would be 4. It's emptied from one use and cannot be used again. The cloak you identify as a fey cloak. Spending their deed, a creature can reach into the cloak and grab its hidden handle to pull it over themselves, and as long as they remain still, it'll shift their appearance into that of a tree, boulder, or other natural structure of their size.
Oh, shit.
Quite useful.
That's cool.
Creatures that observe a creature obscured this way have to make a perception test against a target number of 10, and if they fail, basically they just think the person is whatever that object they appear to be. Each time you use the cloak, after you drop your disguise by moving or uncovering yourself, you have to roll a d100, and on a 10 or lower, it shifts violently and its materials unwind, and it basically just turns back into plant matter. The dagger you identify, it has a name, which is Glint. The wielder can spin actually, they can activate it for free, and the blade will shine with standard light at a close range and dim light for the rest of that range band. And then they can spend their deed if they want to release the magic that creates the glint of light within the blade. And it instead emits a beam of bright light that extends out 3 range bands in a direction of their choosing. And creatures within the beam have to make a constitution test against a target number of 10. And if they fail, they take 3 wounds of radiant damage and become blinded. But if you release the magic after you release it from Glint, the blade shatters and it's destroyed. So it's a flashlight knife that can turn into a flashlight gun once.
This blade claims to have a name. How precocious.
I don't know. That seems right up your alley, Max.
Well, a weapon to take on a name must be steeped in lore and legend.
This one seems to operate as a torch.
Well, how many other knives you've ever seen been also a torch?
I suppose that's
Now,
why it has a name.
Well, there was this festival once where they dipped the sword in oil and they lit it on fire.
Well,
Yes, rather like that, but without the fire.
very cool.
Well, it will help us in situations like this, where there is no light.
Like we can
Yes,
bust a
it's
hole through
very
that hole
fortunate
in space.
Yes, it's very fortunate we've come across this when we have no other sources of light available to ourselves.
I put out
Anyone
my
want
lantern.
Did anyone want the glowing dagger? God, even saying that, it sounds like a bad stage trick.
I'll take it.
Be my guest.
How sharp does it look?
It's pretty sharp. It could definitely use a sharpening, but it definitely can still cut things.
Okay. I will
It likes to be shined twice a day, but I wouldn't encourage it if I were you.
I will light it up.
Sure. It lights.
New surgical tool, Doctor. I can see where you're going with it.
As all of you progress back to the hall, V's going to sit the chest down with all the coins, and he's going to say, well, I can't just lug this thing through the whole house, can I?
Perhaps we could each take a small amount, for now, at least. And we can keep the rest of it in a safe location that we might come back to.
He'll nod.
Dividing some of it up seems the safer option regardless.
He'll tie the sack of gold coins on his back. Just because that's the heaviest one, and he's pretty strong. And the rest of you kind of divide the coins up. And as all of you, are you guys going to continue down the hall? Are you going out to the kitchen, back to the hall, and continuing down to the other doors? Or are you going to go back towards the chain door?
Was there another door in the kitchen or no?
No.
No, okay.
I think trying the other doors in the hall makes the most sense.
All right.
Yeah.
As you guys exit the kitchen and turn to the left to try the other doors to the hall, we're going to take our break. Let's try to be back around 8:20, and we'll see what else the house has to offer.
That was good.
Oh, I'm so dumb. I apologize. I forgot. Jensen, when you killed the creature and it wasted away, you found a key ring in the refuse. So you've picked up a ring of keys. There's a copper key, there's a silver key, and there's a gold key.
Okay. As we're starting to walk up the stairs, I'm gonna go. Oh, also, looks like our slimy friend was a jailer of sorts, and I'll hold up the key ring.
I have no doubt that will be quite useful. Keep that safe.
Yep. Yeah, I'll clip it onto one of the chains that are surrounding me.
Okay. And then let's go ahead and go to our break. Looking down the hall, as we come back to all of you, re-entering the west hallway of the first level of Lambeth Manor, you would see 3 matching doors. They each kind of equally spaced down the hall on the left side, and then it reaches a small connecting room. It looks like that room has another door on its left side, as well as a door on its right. And it kind of ends at a dead end just past those, where you see kind of an ornate table with a painting of the Harlow family all together in front of their manor, resting on the wall above it. The third door on the left of those 3 doors that seem similar in distance, size, and make has several 2x4s of wood nailed up and down its length to block its entry.
They really don't hide where we put the interesting things.
Yes, they do certainly have a penchant for, well, yeah, I suppose not hiding their secrets. Perhaps they never expected guests. I would like to study that big painting a little bit. You said it's them standing in front of the manor?
Yes.
I'm gonna just look at the details of the manor itself and, like, the area it's in. I just want to see if there's anything different that stands out.
Sure. Go ahead and make a study test. The target number is going to be 10.
Right. I will. Can I use the magnifying glass?
Sure can.
Okay.
Drop it to 7. That is, you've walked all the way to the end of the hall.
Sure. All right, I got a 14.
The manor obviously looks much less dilapidated than it does now. As far as the scenery that it's in, you would recognize that instead of the dense forest that it seems to be stuck in now with the rest of the town, there's more of those rolling fields, kind of golden fields. There's a high peaking sun and clear blue skies above their heads. And as for the family itself, it is Gareth along with his wife and what appears to be son and daughter. You would also see a dog with them, like a hound. That must have been like the family hound or something, because it was included in the painting.
I mean,
In that room. Oh, sorry.
I was just saying. I mean, Charlotte's gonna like. Is the painting like huge?
It's pretty big. You could lift it off the wall. It wouldn't be super easy to do it without. It'd be easier if like V or Jensen did it for you.
Yeah, I mean, I'll call Jensen over and say, "Would you mind lifting this painting up just a little bit? I'd like to see if there's anything interesting behind it."
You have had good luck when looking at the various paintings around this place.
Yes, I'm relying on that now.
I'll figure it out. And before I lift it off, I'm going to point at the daughter. I'm going to say, there was a portrait of Bishop Harlow and this little girl in that room with the chained up door. I'm pretty sure that's that gaunt girl that we have been seeing. Maybe something more to investigate. Maybe obvious, but no one said it yet. And then I'll start pulling the picture down.
It's a little heavy and awkward, but you managed to pull the painting down.
Oh, shit. What? I like put it like on and then put it down on my foot and then kind of lay it up against the wall at an angle.
It was covering a window. The window appears to be looking in to a garden that's enclosed in glass. It is a somewhat surprisingly vibrant garden of plants. Although you notice that all throughout it, and many of the plants seem to be covered in mold.
Now, why would they want to cover up such a lovely view?
That is strange. Looking through the gate outside, it did not look this lush and healthy. So this is something different.
Yes, most definitely. I'll make a mental note or draw a map or something if I have to kind of
Sure.
figure out where the garden is. Perhaps something to look at later once we get around to that side.
And then I put it up at an angle, but then I'll grab the top of it, I'll pull it back and like hold it like so we can see the back of it.
Back of it's undisturbed. Just looks like a normal painting back.
Is it like the back of the canvas, or is there the sheet of paper?
There's the sheet of paper.
Should we remove this paper if there's anything on the back of the canvas?
It is the side no one sees.
Agreed.
As you kind of set it down, Jensen, and then Daracina, you use Glint to kind of like cut back the paper and peel it back. You guys would see the back side of the canvas where some of the paint from the front has bled through. But other than that, it looks normal.
Certainly doesn't hurt to try.
I'll shine Glint's light on it. Does anything show up?
No. Worth a shot, though. It's a map of 6 manors. Each of them has...
No!
You're gonna be here forever.
No!
You're never leaving this place.
We have to check every portrait because we've been undefeated. We've been batting 1,000 so far.
I know the
So
campaign's
far.
called Aethergarde by Night, but you're never making it to Aethergarde.
God damn.
Wait, this isn't Aethergarde.
Aethergarde was the friends we made along the way.
The way,
I seem to have taken the wrong carriage.
should have turned right at Albuquerque.
Are there any? Is there any movement in that garden area? Are there like people out there?
Make a perception test.
That's a good point.
Target number is 15.
Can I look out, seeing that she's looking out? Can I make that text as well?
Also, I forgot I bought the Sharp Eyes feature, which makes all my perception and awareness rolls or tests easy, just
Nice.
by flat. So
that would drop it to a 12 for you. Oh, nice.
17.
There is some movement. It does not appear humanoid. More like a large plant shambling through the garden.
Well, it seems the garden is more vibrant than I previously thought. You see there?
Oh, is that thing moving?
it
Oh,
most
that looks.
definitely is.
Oh,
We might need those firebombs after all, Maximilian.
Does it appear magical?
It's hard to make out the details of what it's made up of outside of the fact that it's plant-like, because the glass isn't very clear. It's like covered in the mold, so you're kind of like looking through it, kind of like at different angles, trying to pick up details. But it doesn't appear to be humanoid. So if it is in fact some kind of plant that is shambling around,
Gotta be animated somehow.
it has to be like magically animated or manipulated somehow, as far as you're aware.
Cool.
well, all right. How about some of these rooms? And I'll walk down. Do any of them have locks on them of any particular metallic sheen?
The no, none of them appear. They all appear lockable, like they have keyholes, but none of them have any kind of like special locks or anything. They're one of them, the third one from where you guys started. So looking back this direction, there's a door to your left in this room that, based upon what you understand, is probably a door that leads out and back into the main area. It was one of the other doors on the left side when you entered the mansion. And then there's a door on your right that it doesn't have a lock on it, but it has a locking mechanism like under the door handle. It's a little bit larger than the previous doors, of which there are 3 looking back down from the way you came. Now the closest one to you is the one that's covered in boards. And then there's 2 past that one that are not boarded up.
Vanquish our biggest foe first. I'll say in like a kind of with a smirk on my face, and I'll gesture towards the biggest door.
I see no reason not to.
No argument from me.
When you reach out to try that door that's just to the right of where all of you are standing in front of the window, you do find that it is locked.
Okay. I'll unclasp the key ring from my belt and say, "Do you want to try this here? Can you look, Maximilian, see if there's anything magical on this door?"
Looking a little closer as you ask Max to check the door, you realize that these keys don't look like they're the right size to fit this keyhole.
Okay.
I check the door.
Your vision is still up, and it doesn't appear to be. It's not pinging as magical. None of these doors are.
Okay. Yeah, the magical sight lasts for an hour.
So it's still up.
I do a quick sweep of the rest of the doors in the hall just in case.
None of them appear to be magical. And the one that's on the opposite side from this one doesn't appear to be magical either. When as you're inspecting that one, Max, if you jiggle the handle, it seems like that one's actually unlocked.
Max would say, "Well, all of these doors appear to be rather boringly mundane. This one appears unlocked, however. Counter proposal. Try the easiest one first."
Slowly turning the handle, Max, and opening it, you find yourself facing the side of the main staircase in the entry hall that led upstairs that your party went up last chapter when they first encountered the Headless Horseman. And you can see just to the right, you can kind of see the rest of the big main hall, the doors across the hall that are in the east wing of the downstairs. And then to the left, you can see the paths that your party had noticed last time you were in this chamber, that kind of one of the paths on this side that leads around the staircase, and you realize that it's not a hall behind the staircase, it's actually another staircase that appears to be leading down.
Does there appear to be anyone in the hall I'm looking into?
No, it's a pretty wide space, so you have to kind of scan it for a few seconds to fully inspect it, but it's quiet. There doesn't appear to be any movement anywhere. There's also actually candelabras, like lighting areas of this chamber. So.
Oh, nice. Have we been in the east wing at all?
No, you guys haven't gone through any of the doors on the opposite side yet.
Okay. Max would say, Well, it appears we have already been on the other side of this door. There appears to be one thing that went unnoticed, and he'll open the door a little wider and gesture to the staircase under the other staircase.
Stairs under stairs, bro. It's like the labyrinth.
Seems like as good a lead as any. Shall we?
You guys want to all head out into the main hall again?
Yeah.
Okay. Heading out into the main hall, and then following that past the path to the left, you find a set of red carpeted stone steps. They lead down about 20 feet, and then they stop, and there's actually a matching set of steps that leads up in front of all of you. It looks like the other path that wraps around the other side of the stairs just leads to this staircase, and they both meet at this platform at the bottom. To the right, facing in the direction that above on the next level the stairs would start, there's an opening that leads down another set of stairs. It looks like it leads underground, but it's currently blocked by a set of metal bars that have raised from holes in the stone up like spears to block the passage forward. And there's nothing past it other than the stairs leading down, and they just kind of disappear into a lingering darkness. But as your party stands there kind of observing this gateway springing from the ground, blocking the passage downwards, you would hear in the distance a soft
Coming from the passageway down.
Yeah, that you're all facing now.
Do we rattle the cage and see what comes up, or leave this alone?
I think I may have chosen poorly. Perhaps we go back to the locked door.
Well, we gotta get through one of these doors before long.
I don't know about that. This place seems full of doors. We might never run out.
It's a little terrifying of a feeling as well. I won't lie.
I once heard a story about a hotel like that.
I can see if I can unlock that door, and if not, we can continue this way.
That seems like an eminently reasonable course of action as usual, Doctor.
We'll keep our eyes peeled in the meantime.
All right. As all of you
Try to unlock that one.
As all of you head back up the steps, back towards that door you found in the west wing, you reach the top of the steps and turn the corner to enter the main hall again to head to back to the west wing. Any one of you to make a D100 roll?
I don't think I'm allowed to do it anymore.
Well, I mean, you're all going to take turns, I assume.
Mhm.
Come on, who wants to play with fire this time?
I will. My red die is the 100 and blue is the 10s. 10s and 1. Red is 10s, Blues ones.
All right.
86.
The hall remains quiet as all of you enter. Heading back through the door that Maximilian had led you all through earlier, and reaching the largest of the doors in the east wing to attempt to unlock it. Go ahead and make your mechanics test. It would be against a target number of 12.
Oof. 4.
Yeah. Unfortunately, this is a difficult lock to open. You need to either find a key or find another way in.
Did we already determine that the Jensen's keys won't work on this one?
Yeah, they don't seem like they're the right size.
Okay. Remember if that
Are there any?
Oh,
Are there any other doors in this hall besides the boarded up one?
Yeah, there's 2 past that one that you guys initially passed. So there's this door, then there's the boarded door, and then there's 2 more that are on the opposite side of the boarded door that are closer to the kitchen.
Could be worth a look.
fuck it. And I'll walk to the nearest door and see if that one's unlocked.
So you walk past the boarded door. And
Yes.
then the next one, you grab the handle, and it does appear to be unlocked when you jiggle it.
I'm gonna look back at Max and say, we got entrance. And I'll swing it open.
You're greeted by a cluttered, broken servants' quarters. It looks like it once had probably 4 beds crammed together against the far wall, and then pots as rest for the restroom and other things. And but most of that now is kind of just scattered and destroyed and covered by the mold. It's growing from all the cracks. Additionally, it looks like some of the damage to things in this room wasn't done just by like time causing like desiccation. It's also like things were like broken and tossed around.
Does it look like the mold is coming more from one side of the room than in the others?
No, it's kind of
No.
everywhere.
Okay.
It's just growing out of all the cracks. Deracine, on some of the sharper, broken pieces of metal, you notice what appears to be rotted clumps of flesh and hair.
Looking closer, can I tell anything more specific about it? Like, perhaps
Yeah.
ages or anything like that? Or how
A
long it's been there?
make a natural sciences test. It's against a target number of 12.
8.
8. You're not sure about all those details, but what I will say is you can tell that this flesh was torn after it was already dead.
Are we good here?
I think so. Doesn't seem very important.
Does there appear to be anything magical in the room?
No, nothing's pinging your vision.
Alright.
I'm gonna look at Max and smirk and say, "You can open the next one."
Why, thank you. Don't mind if I do.
When you jiggle the handle of the next room over, that's the last room that's not boarded up, basically. It also appears to be unlocked.
Max will give a sort of performative flourish and then turn the handle and throw the door open.
As he does this performative flourish and he turns the handle and opens the door, he also has to kind of stumble back as just a rotted corpse just kind of falls out into the hall.
Oh, my, that was entirely uncalled for.
Hollows certainly have skeletons in their closets.
Is that the closet?
Large closet of sorts. They have too many rooms.
Jensen, your blade is glowing.
Well, who or what else is in this room?
The room itself is much like the previous one you found, a servant's quarter that's been turned over and more or less destroyed. There is another skeleton in this room. This one is much more rotted and decayed, almost to the point that it is just a skeleton, unlike the corpse that fell through when the door opened.
Do I see any signs of magic?
No, you do not. The corpse, however, is shifting.
I would stick the point of my blade in like onto it to like kind of keep it on the ground, or try to at least.
It's like trying to struggle, but it's rotted, so it's like barely putting up a fight against you.
Well, now who might you be? Is there any kind of like clothing on him? Any kind of like
Make lore tests. The target number is 10.
Sir,
Well-
can you speak?
Its eyes lock on to yours.
Not the word I was expecting you to say.
I don't like this guy, Dad.
It looks like a failed attempt to me.
Yeah.
speaking your language, Steve?
Well, I mean, I'd like to think that I speak a little bit better than this guy. Come on, give me some credit.
Well, I do, but at the end of the day, I think you and this fella here both have probably the same thing on your mind.
He'll shake his head. No, I'm nothing. I'm nothing like this guy.
Perhaps this fellow's better half has something to say, and I'm gonna light the ghost to a candle.
Really quick, who did lore tests?
I did. I got a 10.
You got 10, okay.
I got a 5.
None of you are sure. However, when you flip him over, you do notice that his tunic still bears the crest of the raven whose wings is covering the moon, or hugging the moon. And additionally, you notice that on his belt there is a ring with a key. When you light the ghostwick candle and you peer into the chamber, you see that where the skeleton resides, there's a ghostly figure that's pulled their legs up to their chest and buried their head in their knees.
I will. Are they like looking at us, or are they
No.
looking down into their? Okay.
Yeah.
I will approach slowly. I'll keep a distance of maybe like 8 to 10 feet.
Sure.
I'll kneel down and I'll say, was this your physical body?
empty eyes look up at you. Yes.
And you were trapped in here. Why? What happened?
An experiment. Another experiment of Gareth Harlow. I guess it got out of control. Many of us were infected. I was. As he looks up at you, parts of his body in the translucent ghostly form start to get bitten by invisible mouths and torn from his form. Consumed.
Very sorry to hear that. Well, if it's any consolation, my fellows and I are here to hopefully put a stop to the Harlows. Any information you could give us would be extremely helpful.
Information? What kind? I'm sorry. My thoughts are twisted.
Yes, that is very understandable, and I wish not to push you past your limits. Yes, you've already experienced that. Any more information you might have about these experiments, where they were centered in the manor, where he created them?
Harlow has a laboratory. It is below the manor. We are not allowed to go there. In the dungeons. The others that got infected, those that he lost control of, he boarded them up as he ended his experiments.
I see. I'll look back at the others and say, well, it seems we have a heading, at least. We should find these dungeons. I imagine there's a good chance that what we're looking for is down there. And then I'll turn back to the spirit and say, you will find peace soon. I will make sure of it.
There are others. Experiments of all kinds. This house means death. Leave, or you will be the next one.
Not if I have anything to say about it.
His blank eyes kind of watch you. As you wish. His head sinks back down to his knees.
Max is going to reach towards the keys and then seem to think better of it, and then point at them and sort of make a come here motion and try to use telekinesis to pull them up to his hand.
Yeah, they tear kind of just through the loose loop of the belt and back into your hand.
He'd say, "Well, Mr. Jensen, one more key to try on all the locks."
So it seems. It's different how, like, compared to the other keys, the bigger, smaller, different, bigger?
The keys are too small.
Oh, okay. Well, this one being bigger does seem to point us in the right direction.
Excellent.
I'll respectfully wait for Swipe to finish. Or Miss Pierce to finish. Price, sorry, shit.
You're good.
Yeah, I'll say, rest now as much as you can. You will find peace soon. I will make sure of it.
He's kind of lost his focus on you already.
I'll stand up and I'll start heading out and say, I'll blow out the candle. Actually, you know what? No, I'll keep the candle lit because presumably there are other servant quarters here, so there may be more of these.
The only one left that you guys haven't inspected is the one that's boarded up.
Okay.
And the door at the end, but that didn't appear to be like the same kind of room from what you could tell. From the outside, anyways.
Your door was much more interesting, Max.
You know, I find myself preferring the boring ones. Why don't you try the next one?
Oh, I'll be happy to, and I will head back towards the big door that now I presumably have a key for.
Yeah, you slot the key in, and it turns, unlocking the door.
Take a deep breath and open the door. Yeah.
Inside, you find a single bed built into a stone alcove. Next to it is a long table covered with much the same glassware that you guys found at the first ritual site, ancient apothecary technology. Along with that, there's another small stone alcove that wooden shelves have been added to, and old books have been kind of stacked on. Many of them handwritten, pretty much all of them handwritten. And all of them, most of them being just like lineless sketchbooks that have what appear to be ancient alchemical writings in it. Most of it is theoretical writing.
Yeah, Charlotte is definitely interested in this stuff. She'll take some time to sift through it and just see if there's anything
Make a
relevant.
study test. The highest target number when you're looking through them is 24. Goes down to 21 for you.
Oh my god.
That was rough.
Oh, okay. I forget how to read.
There's definitely what you feel like might be important information in a couple of these, but it's going to take you longer than a quick scan to digest.
Yeah, she's clearly struggling to like jot down notes and like mark pages and stuff, and she'll just shake her head and she'll say, I think that minor concussion I received earlier is having some further negative impacts on me. Would someone else mind taking a look at this and seeing what you can glean? I'll just like slide the book over the desk.
Max will take a look at it.
Okay. It's a study test. The highest target number is 24.
Alright, study.
Can I help him with that roll?
Sure.
Okay.
Now drop it to a 21.
I'll just show him what I've already read.
Sorry, set up. 11.
11. You do find what appears to be notes on how to make healing poultices alchemically. Additionally, you would find on that page a small like locker key. It looks like it probably corresponds with like the foot locker by the bed in this room.
Handy. I'll go over and inspect the footlocker.
Okay. It doesn't ping as magical in your vision. When you slip the key in, it unlocks with kind of like a chunky iron turning noise. And then when you lift up the actual lid, you find a bed of leaves that have preserved within them what appear to be a couple just low-quality healing poultices, which you would be able to spend a deed. Whoever's carrying it will be able to spend a deed to use on somebody else or themselves to remove a health wound.
This seems quite useful. Miss Charlotte, would you like one?
Yes, I actually would. Thank you.
Of course. It seems the information necessary to create more of these is here as well. So, if we can find the necessary ingredients, we should be able to put together some more.
I'll take notes, however much I can, on the formula for it.
Deracine, go ahead and make a natural sciences test. Target number of 10, as everyone's looking at that page. So, based upon the herb that you found, the green herb, You feel like you could probably make one more of these at a low quality using this equipment. It does look like if you manage to find a couple other types of herbs, you might be able to make a stronger one. You would need an equal amount. We'll say that they're a red herb and a blue herb, but no reason in particular why. Just because.
Of course.
Oh yeah.
They're just general colloquial.
Just general
terms amongst
colors, you know?
The medicine community.
Yeah.
Would anyone mind if I used one of those there right now? This one particularly hurts, and I lift my arm, and there's like a gash like down my side. This one hurts a lot.
Oh, goodness, Jensen, here. Use more if you
Yeah.
need them.
Oh, yes.
I mean, to be totally honest, I wouldn't mind one of those either.
Oh, yes, here. I've got, with the one that Max just found, I've got 3. Please use them.
I appreciate it. I would like one, just one,
Yeah.
and I'll apply
We
it
will
to
use
that
one
one.
as well.
Alright, so I've got 1 left.
He's down to 3 wounds.
I have 4 wounds right now.
Would I have had any health poultices prior to this?
I feel like at some point you guys did get a couple, but I don't remember.
I think I might have. Those might be the 2 that I had, because I've had these for a while.
Okay.
I think
Just
we
wanted to
found
check because
them
I didn't have any listed.
Yeah. I didn't give everyone health poultices at the beginning of the campaign or anything.
Okay.
Because I want you to die, Jesse. Come on.
Well, obviously.
This game isn't. It's not
have
like
to
it's
say
not like
that-
we're playing together. It's like a competition, and I'm trying to kill you.
Competition.
I've played your campaigns before. I know what the stakes are.
You know what the stakes are. Yeah, we've been playing with you too long, bro. We know.
There is a kind of a rough carrying case. You might be able to collect the necessary things you would need to make these, so that you could attempt to make them somewhere else. But you would need to be able to make fire wherever you were making them, because you need to be able to boil.
Well, I'd help gather together the necessary equipment.
All right.
Do that as well.
It's not funny. I don't know why you guys keep saying it.
All right. Exiting that chamber, you guys have explored what appears to be all the passages in the east wing, unless you'd like to go back to the chained door or to the boarded up door.
What did that poor spirit tell you, Miss Price? Any relevant information?
Yes, I asked why they were locked inside of that room, and they said that the Harlows, or at least Gareth, has a laboratory somewhere below the manor where he was conducting experiments, and the experiments went, well, foul, as it were, and seemed to go around the manor biting the servants and infecting them as well. And she'll make a hand motion of clamping onto her neck multiple times, and she'll say, they seem to think that it was, well, rather stupid of us to stay within this manor. But after what they've been through, I can't say I blame them.
Laboratory is good information, though.
Yes, I believe they said there were dungeons below the manor. The laboratory is either there or connected to it. Either way, I think heading down might be our best bet.
The descending staircase with bars over it does seem to be it will give a dungeon sort of feel.
Indeed.
We will just have to figure out how to get past.
Jensen, that creature we fought before was starting to corrode your sword. Do you think we could collect some of that slime and use it to corrode the bars?
I think that's a good idea, but this is well made, well fired and folded metal. The scimitar. Yeah, if we could find something that could hold it, maybe. I don't know if we know. I don't know of something I have that could.
Well, most things do not react with glass. We could take some bottles from this alchemical set and see.
It's a good idea. Worth a shot. It might also get through them chains on that door in that first little study area.
Good thinking. Can certainly try to get some for that as well.
All right, so you guys want to grab some beakers and go back to try to collect some of the acidic material from the pools that were made when it exploded. All right.
Yeah.
And so,
Grabbing the bottles,
We
the
will.
party heads back through the kitchen down into the larder and finds themselves in the small corner room. I'm going to say that each of you can make a sleight of hand or a natural sciences test to try to collect some in the beakers. You would know that collecting this stuff is somewhat dangerous because if you splash too much of it on yourself, it could harm you.
Could Max collect it using telekinesis to move the bottle? Okay. Then he will try to help in that way.
I also collect it
So you-
using Max using telekinesis.
You could just let them do it if you want.
I mean,
Not everyone needs to.
I would like to help out.
All right,
She wants to know. She wants a little bit of hands-on experience with this stuff.
Sure. So everyone can roll a sleight of hand or natural sciences. Max, I'll let you roll a power. The target number to collect is 8.
Got 3.
You got a 3?
Mm-hmm.
One wound of corrosive damage.
Fuck.
Sorry, bud.
I got a 12.
You collect like half a bottle, though. A 12.
Motherfucker.
You managed to fill your bottle.
12.
Your beaker. You managed to fill your beaker safely as well.
Max would say, I believe I found a safe way to accomplish this. If there are any bottles that still need to be filled.
It's a good thing these fingers haven't had much feeling in the tips of them for a few years now.
You guys have
They
collected.
wouldn't after that.
You guys have collected 4 beakers worth.
Max would say, my dear Mr. Jensen, I believe that might be worth getting checked out. I can recommend a good doctor if you'd like.
Oh, yeah. Well, I happen to know one as well, but I don't know if there's anything to do with this. Is from hard-earned stories, we'll call them.
Well, I should think if you can restore taste to a dead tongue, it's not much beyond our dear doctor's abilities.
I'm gonna look at V and I'm gonna look back at him and say, but I mean, did he though? I seen how much pepper flakes he put on them food. That would make my eyes start watering.
And I'm sure your fingers aren't nearly so bad off as his tongue.
V
But
holds
if
up
you think
his hand.
pepper flakes would help, I wouldn't stop you from trying them.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to collect any.
Does this find V?
Taking the 4 beakers. Where do you guys want to head first? The door with the chains, or
I would like to try the bars on that staircase first.
Yeah.
I think.
I agree.
heading back out into the main hall and heading down the stone steps behind the main staircase. All of you reach the bars again. Taking the beakers. How would you guys?
The bars didn't appear magical, right?
No, they did.
Okay.
You don't know.
Then can I interrupt them?
Yeah, you can. How does interrupt work again?
I just had it a moment ago.
Yeah, I'm pulling it up right now. Dispel.
Make a power roll against target number of 8 plus the strength of the power you're trying to break.
Okay. So, you would be able to use your identification to know that there's a couple different powers strapped to this. One appears to be an anti-magical protection effect, and the other is making them essentially unbreakable. They're both pretty strong. Somebody relatively skilled in magic has enchanted this gateway.
Max, after studying the bars, would say, well, it seems whoever put these protective measures on the bars was far more skilled than whoever did that chest. I might stand back a bit if I were you. And then he'll pull out his pocketbook and start flipping through it.
Everyone else kind of backs up.
Go back up around the corner of the doorway.
Okay. Max will cast Interrupt, trying to break the anti-magic enchantment.
He's doing it at a strength of 1, just a regular strength of 1.
Well, it'll be at least a strength of 2.
Yep, that's correct.
Yeah, he can tell they're strong, so I'll bump it up.
Plus 1 bonus to the dispel ability, I would imagine.
Yeah, I don't think any others really matter right now. Yeah, because I don't need to deal damage. I don't need to increase damage. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I'll bump it up one more time to a strength of 3, so I get a +2 bonus to the roll.
And the target number is going to be 8 plus 5, so it's going to be a total of 13.
Okay. I'm making a power check, and I get +1 to power checks and +2 from the spell, so a total bonus of +3. $17.
17. You snap the anti-magical protection. That just leaves the strengthening effect.
Max will shake out one hand and sort of flex his fingers and say, well, that's one down. If you'll just give me a moment.
We'll do.
He'll scan through the pocketbook again quickly and then start muttering to himself and begin gesturing at the bars again.
All right.
And let's do it again.
Yep, and this is going to be against a 13 as well.
Don't forget about momentum.
Okay.
Yeah, don't forget about
Well,
momentum.
this might be.
I'm getting the we rolled once really well and may not on the next one.
I would suggest doing it on this.
Right.
I would be okay if we used momentum on this roll.
Okay. Then I will use momentum.
That's 1 momentum for me.
Okay. And what do I do for that?
That's going to drop the target number by 3. So it's going to go from a 13 to a 10.
All right.
Yep.
19.
You shatter the second spell, and that leaves just the bars of iron protecting the entryway down.
Max will snap the pocketbook shut and slip it back into his coat pocket and say, well, I believe my work here was done. And he'll gesture towards the bars for everyone else.
Excellent work it was.
Is everyone going to just, toss the ooze on the bars?
Let's try one and see how well it goes.
It would be best to just pull it around the bottom. At that point, one of our strong people could bend it out of the way.
Okay. So you want to do, an athletics test to bend the opening and use the viscous material to make it easier, basically.
Yeah, I mean, if they're up for it.
Okay, cool.
Break
Yes.
the bottom with the slime.
So you and Charlotte step forward and start to pour the collected slime
Well,
onto.
can we use it? Stella's right. Can we use 1? See if it.
Sure, it would probably
Just
just pool
start
around
corroding?
1 bar.
Okay.
You don't immediately notice corrosion, but
I
you
guess
also
we can
didn't
al-
with the sword.
We can always go back and get more slime.
That's true. I ain't doing it next time.
All right, so you pooled around 2 of them. You watch it for a few minutes, and it's definitely corroding it, but it's happening pretty slowly.
I'll reach out and I'll try to like with both hands and I'll try to just like bend it towards me.
All right, make an athletics test. The target number is going to be 20.
Whew, okay. I have +1 from my physique feature. So it'll be this +1.
Can always use momentum.
Well, I'll try this. Oh, well. Best I can do is 21.
You V will step up to help you, and that'll drop it to a 17.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I'll try it like that.
Okay.
Oh, it's 12.
Yeah, you definitely don't feel like you're strong enough to bend back these bars with just you and V.
Shit.
Unless you're going to let the corrosion take an effect for a while.
Yeah, I mean, if I can't do it now, I'll wait.
Yeah, it's going to be a
Getting
while.
more
You're gonna be
anxious.
standing around for a while. You're not going to be standing around for just a few minutes. You feel like you're going to be standing around for like a few hours waiting for the corrosion to do its work. If you really want it to be easier.
I look around on like the walls around this staircase and bars and like can I start to like feeling around the walls and see if there's any like indents or hidden little compartments or anything?
Make a study test for me. Target number is 20.
I can't make that.
You don't feel anything around the walls. This is a pretty sturdy stone building. It does use wood in some places, but it's very thick.
No recessed rock switches. Bricks.
The corrosion continues to slowly eat away at the bottom of the two bars.
Perhaps
Still have a couple bottles left.
we could use the rest of the ooze now, or perhaps we could leave it do its thing and continue to look around.
I mean, it's slower than molasses down there. It's not moving.
Well, how else would we get to know?
Does it look like at the base of the bars? Does it look like they broke through the ground, or they were built into it? Like there's like
We're
a
like
circular.
built into it.
Okay.
There's like
Well,
openings that they're jetting out of.
I'll like bend down and I'll point at one of the ones that's not corroding away. I'll say it was obviously made to go up and down. Someone has to get down there. I feel like there's got to be a way to make these bars retract into the ground. I just don't know where that will be.
Well, thinking of all of our various resources that we have available to us, there is that, Max, you said that potion allows you to transform into some sort of creature, correct? Maybe someone could transform into something small enough to fit through the bars, retransform on the other side, and find some sort of switch or control mechanism? However, if there is none on that side, they might find themselves split off from the rest of us.
It does carry that risk.
Someone's waiting down there for us. We already heard it.
I should probably mention that I could get a couple of us around the bars if necessary. I had hoped that the acid would provide a way for all of us to get through together, but seeing as that does not seem a practical immediate solution, I can at least offer an alternative for a pair of us.
Two is better than one. Still, knowing that we probably got to get down there anyways. It's a hard decision.
Wonder if there might be a control mechanism in another room on this level.
Oh, wait. No, sorry, never mind. I misread how the spell works.
There's got to be a switch somewhere, right? I'll say to Miss Price as she says that. There's got to be something somewhere, right?
Never mind. Max would believe he can get everyone through.
Oh,
Oh,
that changes things.
Well, if you can get us through, we can leave this ooze working away at the bars for a way out if we needed.
perhaps even use the rest of it right now, so that it'll eat away a bit faster while we're down there.
All right, Max. As they begin to apply the rest of the slime to try to continue eating away at the bars as quickly as possible in case you guys need to escape back through them quickly, how would you like to try to get everyone through?
Max will attempt to use teleport on whoever would like to go first.
I've experienced teleportation magics before. It's not my favorite, but whenever you're ready, Max, I'm at your beck and call, I suppose.
Well, as they say, ladies first. I recommend holding your breath.
Oh, I know.
He's going to put a hand on your shoulder, narrow his eyes slightly, and mutter a few words, and attempt to teleport you just to the other side of the bars.
Charlotte, you reappear on the other side of the bars.
Well, that was much more pleasant than the last time I did this.
I take it you're
There's a shower of faint blue sparks when this happens. Oh yes, sorry about that. I've been
No, I'm
too used to doing
it's all
too used
part
to
of
doing
the
this for
maneuver.
too used to doing this for an audience. You understand? Who'd like to go next?
and continues one by one, teleporting each of you through the bars.
Various different visual effects accompany each one.
Yeah, Jensen chuckles at his.
Max says, I could have sworn I'd gotten it that time. One of these variations surely must be the mundane variety, but can't seem to find it.
Now, who would want that to be mundane? I am smiling, like, genuinely. I enjoy Max's magic.
The magic itself is quite the performance, Maximilian. You should be proud.
He will tip his hat to you and then teleport himself through the bars. This one has a much larger, more vibrant shower of sparks.
I'll smile and turn towards the way down.
All of you stand on the other side of the bars, having infiltrated at least this first layer of defense into the underground beneath Lambeth Manor, and greeted by a distant, hollow call off the stonework. Oh, this is going to be great.
Slip my blade out. Look down at it.
You watch as your party starts to descend into the dark of the cold, stale air that's gathered amongst the stonework. And your blade softly glints and then begins to glow blue. And that's where we'll end our session for the night.
Man's got a lot of spells.
Max starts handing out business cards and inviting you all to his next show.
I
have a handful, a trifling, really.
And next time we play, we'll see what you guys find below Lambeth Manor. As
Money.
you skip the rest of the dungeon. Great job.
I'm sure there was nothing important or fun or interesting throughout all of that.
Nothing at all. Like 30 rooms that I designed or anything like that. Totally.
Hey man, just
To be
reuse it.
fair, I probably would have gotten outvoted, but I definitely wanted to get through that chains on that fucking door. But
I did too, I'm curious.
if it was gonna take hours to eat through them with that shit,
Chains on the door would have been interesting for sure. Great session, everybody.
Good times.